share.
Hello everyone, this is team Lemme Help, and we are going to describe our entry in Hack Arizona 2017. The motivation behind our app was that 15 million people in the States deal with depression, a lot more worldwide, and it is estimated that only 1/3 of them actually seek medical help. So some reasons could be that people are just shy to seek medical help, or they think it's a taboo to be called depressed. Many of them don't even know that they are dealing with depression, and they might be having questions about it. So what would be the symptoms of depression? They would usually be lack of sleep or excessive sleep, or it could be loss of appetite or excessive appetite. It could also be physical activities, prolonged sadness, disgust, anger. So we thought that in this age of IoT, and there are so many devices around, what is the data that we can collect that can help us gauge whether a person is depressed, and can we make recommendations to help him deal with it. So for our application, the data sources that we thought of using was from the smartphone. We can collect SMSs and conversations. We can also collect images from the phone cameras. From social media, we can collect posts, what are they posting about, their comments, their bio, and what are they recently liking. From wearable devices, we can get data about their activities, about how much they have slept, which should help us have a better idea. We do understand that privacy is going to be a concern since we are getting so much information, but what we thought of that we won't store the actual data, but we'll only store the sentiments extracted from these data points as a policy. So our proposition is that we think the likelihood of a person being depressed is going to be pretty similar to the amount of prolonged sadness, disgust, anger from the sentiments that we are collecting. So we thought of using Watson's AlchemyLanguage API, which gives us these tuples of, so every time we query it for a text, it gives us a dictionary of sentiments which contains sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and joy. We also thought of using Microsoft's emotion API for facial data, from which it again gives us something which is very similar to the dictionary we get from AlchemyLanguage API. So from these two main data sources, we were able to do some aggregated sentiment analysis, and these sentiments, once aggregated over 2 weeks, should give us a good idea of whether the person is depressed or not. So based on this likelihood, we also thought of providing some recommendations, and the recommendations would be of two kinds. It would be, in cases of mild depression that is detected, we recommend activities to the user based on his social media profile. Like, for example, if I like sci-fi movies, and if there's a new sci-fi movie coming around, the app could just say, notify that, hey, want to check out tickets for this movie. Or if I like some outdoor activities, it could specifically query the net and give me recommendations for those activities. The other recommendations would be, in severe cases, we thought the app could help the patient connect to the experts just query whatever are the local psychiatric facilities, what would be self-help groups that the user could join, and the app should be a way where it makes them comfortable, it gives them knowledge about depression, and makes them comfortable to really reach out to people in these cases. So we had a restricted amount of time, obviously, and we couldn't implement all of these ideas that we thought, but we came up with a prototype which we'll be demoing it to you soon. So here is our app. We made an Android app for Lemme Help, and at login, what we'll see is, as the user clicks on login with Facebook, on the server side we have the feeds that we are analyzing with sentiments. So you can see it has health metrics, how much they have slept, it has social media sentiment and SMS chat sentiments. So all the entries that we see here are data points from the social media and the phone SMSs, the pages they've liked, the things that they've shared. So I can, and from the Watson API, we get a dictionary of sentiments which sum up to 1, which basically shows the percentage of what proportion of sentiments are there on that data point. So a couple of interesting examples in this would be, let's take this example which says, I hate getting ignored by someone really special to me. So you can see a high proportion of sadness, 53%, and a high proportion of anger, which is 41%. And another positive example would be, let's say, hi, I'm Olivia, your recruiting AI job assistant. So you see that the joy percent is 64% in this, and a little bit of sadness has come here as well. So the APIs are sometimes it's hard to say what exactly word would bump the emotion sentiment, but it's still roughly a decent estimate. So on the mobile screen, what you can see is the recommendations that we have. So based on this little aggregated data that we have, we think this would be a mild case. So there are notifications like want to try out this gym near you, or if there's a sci-fi movie coming up, would you want to check out its show timings? And these would all be links to browser links or links to other applications. One particular one that we would like to show is like, how are you feeling? So it could also be used to get input and output from the user. And while the user would be typing an answer on how are you feeling, we would obviously do sentiment analysis on the text as well, but we would also click a photo from the camera, from the front camera, and this would be to check the natural facial emotion, and to show a demo of that, once we click on camera, it would show to click a pic, and the picture is taken. So right now the face was not in the picture, so we'll just take it again, and now it did detect a face in the picture, and as you see, most of it is neutral right now because we are demoing, so we kind of are in a neutral facial mode right now. Let's try a happy one. So if you take another picture where the user is currently smiling, here you will see that let's see, so sadness is pretty less, happiness should be 98%. So as you see, so this was a happy picture. Now let's try a comparatively sad picture. So the user is now clicking a rather grim looking face, and let's see how good this is. So happiness is pretty less, and you see sadness is 33%. So even the facial sentiments do work, and these are we try to be as implicit as possible. We don't want the user to know that we are collecting data, but we are actually collecting sentiments silently on the background and aggregating them. So the other screen that we would have for severe cases would be that we would want to grab their attention more, and in case of a severe depression, we use a little bit of colors which also go in line with some color therapy that is possible for patients, and for these colors it would be just highlighting that you really need to go to your nearest expert. And obviously there is much more work to be done on this app that can be done. The most important one that we believe is we want to use machine learning with true data so that our estimates are more accurate. So these estimates right now are just empirically done by us for now, but as and when, if we could get real data from people who are suffering from depression, we could train machine learning models that recognize their patterns based on these sentiments, and they could be used to predict more accurate results on other people. There is also some music and color therapy that is done in psychiatric facilities, and these being media sources should be possible to do via people's smartphones as well. There is also scope in voice data. So as we have devices like Alexa which continuously listen to you for commands, they could also try and do sentiment analysis based on what they listen. And search history is another important thing, because people who are depressed or who want to go take drastic steps usually Google or query online something or the other, which could be raising an alarm. And lastly, we would like to hook expert directory data and locations. So what are the psychiatric facilities, what are experts, or what are good ways to connect to them if they would like to chat, or they would like to be on a Skype call and not really visit there in person. This could be like a first line of action. So these are the things we thought which could be done with this app. We think that there is a lot of promise in the data that we can collect, which can help detect depression, and so that was our intent in Hack Arizona. Thanks for listening.